She sat beside me without asking, a beautiful woman. Controlled posture, eyes too calm for the chaos she was about to deliver. The restaurant was full, but in the moment she lowered herself into the seat next to mine, everything went quiet, as if the world paused to inhale. I didn't look at her immediately. I felt her first. A soft breath, a faint smell of citrus perfume, a presence too self-assured to be accidental. Then she spoke, her voice low enough to feel like a whisper inside my skull. "Your wife," she said, "is dating my husband." My fork froze halfway to my mouth. I didn't drop it, didn't flinch, just observed the way my pulse suddenly felt like someone else's heartbeat hammering inside me. I finally turned my head. Her eyes were steady, focused, almost clinical. She wasn't guessing. She wasn't here to speculate. She was here because she already knew. I felt something cold settle beneath my ribs, an instinctive recognition that my life had just split in two. Before this moment, and everything after. She slid her phone across the table. A picture lit up. My wife. Her husband. Close. Laughing. Too close. My throat tightened, but my face didn't show it. I'd been in real estate law long enough to know how to hide a reaction. I'd spent years advising clients how to keep their voice steady when their world was collapsing. Now it was my turn to practice what I preached. I pushed the phone back to her with 2 fingers. "Tell me everything," I said. And the air shifted. Like the beginning of a storm no one could outrun. Her name was Maya, wife of a high-profile investment attorney, a man whose firm my wife's real estate company frequently worked with. Too frequently, I now realized. She spoke carefully, like every word had been weighed before being released. "I found messages," she said, "trips, hotels, fake conferences. She calls him her escape. Her escape." The phrase dug into me like a blade. I listened, silent, every detail another fracture beneath my calm exterior. But the cracks were internal, invisible, mine alone. I replayed the last few months in my mind with excruciating clarity. The late-night client calls, the sudden need for space, the way she guarded her phone like it was a fragile secret. I remembered the night she came home smelling of an unfamiliar cologne. I asked about it casually. She answered too quickly. Back then I told myself I was overthinking. Now, the noise in my head was deafening. But I didn't speak. I didn't lash out or break. I operated like a man mentally sorting evidence. Every memory a data point. Every suspicion a piece of a puzzle finally taking shape. Maya watched my face, waiting for something. Anger? Disbelief? Anything. But I stayed still. "Why tell me?" I asked eventually. "Because lies spread," she said, "and I don't want theirs to grow any further." Her voice cracked only once. I noticed. And I knew she wasn't just here to expose the truth. She was here because she wanted clarity, control, a witness, maybe even an ally. I nodded once. Then, "We end this," I said. And something in her posture loosened, like she had just placed a burden onto someone capable of carrying it. The next few days were a study in silence. I observed my wife with new eyes. I memorized her tells, the stiffening of her shoulders when she lied, the faint smile she reserved for her phone, the way she avoided my gaze when she said she loved me. I reviewed call logs. I accessed phone backups she didn't know existed. I studied Google Maps history, shared calendar invites, receipts left carelessly in drawers. Every detail was a thread, and I pulled quietly. At work, I was the CEO of a boutique real estate law firm known for its precision. At home, I was a ghost, moving around her, watching the subtle shift in her expressions, the guilt she thought she hid well. Inside me, the storm grew, but I let it simmer, low, controlled, productive. Maya and I met twice more, each time exchanging discoveries like 2 strategists mapping a battlefield. She was sharper than I expected, colder even. But beneath her composure was something raw, wounded. We were mirror images of each other, two people unraveling the same web from opposite ends. And slowly, the entire hidden architecture of their affair emerged. Photos, messages, voice notes, financial transfers, shared trading accounts she never mentioned. I didn't confront my wife, not yet. Confrontation would be emotional, messy, weak. I preferred precision. And when the complete truth finally crystallized in front of me, it felt like stepping into a vacuum. Quiet, cold, absolute. The final proof came in the form of an encrypted folder Maya recovered from her husband's cloud account. Inside it were pictures of them together across multiple cities, hotel invoices, a recorded call. My wife's voice whispered through the speaker, "I'm done with him. When you leave her, I'll leave him too." A tremor moved through me, brief, sharp, like static under the skin. I replayed it once, then never again. That night, I returned home early. She was in the kitchen, reading a magazine, pretending to live a normal life. I placed the printed folder on the counter beside her. She looked at it, then at me, then back at it. Her fingers trembled before she could stop them. What is this?" I didn't answer. I just watched the moment her world began to collapse. She opened the folder. Her breath hitched. Her eyes widened. Color drained from her face. When she finally looked at me, she wasn't my wife. She was a stranger caught in the glare of truth. "I can explain," she whispered. "No," I said. "You can react. That's all that's left." And she broke, right there on the polished kitchen floor. I didn't move, didn't touch her, didn't console her. I simply observed the undoing she created with her own hands. 2 days later, the four of us met in a private room at a hotel. Her idea, not mine. Maya sat beside me again, calm, beautiful, composed. My wife entered hesitantly, her lover behind her, avoiding both of our gazes. I slid the evidence toward the man first. He scanned it. His jaw tightened. His breath faltered. He looked at Maya last. She wasn't angry, just finished. Then my wife tried to speak. "I never meant—" "Intent doesn't undo action," I said quietly. I pulled out a stack of documents, divorce papers, asset divisions, real estate splits, financial disclosures. All within legal boundaries, all unchallengeable, all prepared with perfect precision. Her eyes widened again, this time in disbelief. "You already filed?" I don't stay where I'm deceived. The man beside her swallowed hard, realizing the woman he betrayed wasn't staying silent either. Maya slid her own set of papers onto the table. 2 lives dismantled in perfect synchronization. And the betrayers sat frozen in the ruins. That was the moment I finally breathed. When I walked out of that room, I didn't look back. Not at her, not at him, not at the wreckage. Maya walked beside me in silence, the two of us temporarily bound not by pain, but by clarity. Outside, the city lights felt different, sharper, untouched by the lies that had lived in my home. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't broken. I was awake. And as the hotel doors closed behind us, I realized something simple, something final. The truth doesn't destroy you. It destroys the version of you built on someone else's lies. And I was done living in anything but truth.